The Naked Truth Report is sponsored by Kathleen Wells on AM 870, The Answer.
Warning, the following program has been rated T for truth.
You can't handle the truth!
Oh, we think you can. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report with your host, truth warrior and mythbuster, Kathleen Wells. The place where we distinguish fact from fiction, where data is used to drive points home, and where Kathleen takes the position that Democrats and black politicians have destroyed black America. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report. Now, your host, Kathleen Wells.
Good evening to my truth warriors and mythbusters out there in Truth Warrior land and Mythbuster land. You know, I have a little cold. I may be a little sniffly and stuffed up, but, you know, I think it's like an allergy or something. I have to take like a zinc tablet. What I'm going to do today is we don't have a guest today, and I'm going to do open phones, and I'm going to open up the phone line soon. But I want to touch on a few things, you know, before we go to the open phones. But let me give out the call-in number so that you know, and whoever wants to call in can get dialing straight away. So the call-in number is 866-870-5752. That's 866-870-5752, 870-KRLA. So, you know, last week, because Sunday starts the new week. Last week was a really, really chock full of information week in the news. I mean, the whole week was basically what? The school shooting. I think that absorbed the entire week. And it's been going on. We're going into the second week of the school shooting business, right? And this morning, guess what? This morning you guys know that I watch Washington Journal. And who was on Washington Journal this morning? Well, what's his name? Michael Smerconish. What do I want to say about him? Michael Smerconish. I mean, you know, I think he talks well. He sounds good. But the issue is, you know, I don't think he thinks correctly. Or rather, I should say he's like knee-jerk reaction, politically correct. And, you know, politically correct is not working, folks. Politically correct has destroyed Black America, right? Politically correct has destroyed America. So it's not working. So, you know, Michael Smerconish, I mean, they had so much, he has all these accolades and all this stuff going on, making money. And, he's talking his talk, and it's like politically correct stuff. Politically correct stuff is what? Because of the school shootings, we should have gun control. Well, that's a superficial, shallow analysis. Because last week, what did I do? I had Judge Joe Brown on the show, right? And what did Judge Joe Brown talk about? We talked about the necessity for manhood training, right? We talked about the necessity for manhood. Because let's ask ourselves the question. Guns have always been around, right? So what has changed recently that there's so much out of control young boys shooting up schools? What has changed, say, within the last couple of decades that has made, because guns have been around forever. That's something that Judge Joe Brown talked about. Since time immemorial, since civilization, men have needed to be violent so that they could feed their tribe, their clan, their family, right? So that they could protect their tribe, their family, they had to do what? They had to take on lions and tigers and bears and saber-toothed tigers, right? And this is the thing that I say that liberals do, including Smerconish, right? They, there's been thousands of years of human civilization, thousands of years of it. And liberals think today, in 2018, they can reinvent human nature. Oh, we can reinvent human nature. We can diffuse masculinity. We can talk about manhood differently now, because today, in 2018, we got to look at things differently, right? This is like Bizarreville, right? Because civilization, society has existed for thousands of years, and men protected their clan, protected their tribe, protected their family, had obligations. Oh, in fact, let me look at let me read to you the points that, the issues that Judge Joe Brown said, the characteristics of manhood. The characteristics of manhood is duty, honor, obligation, responsibility, accountability, courage, bravery, training, proficiency in manly arts, compassion, mercy, knowledge, and a commitment to acquire and respect wisdom. And then he adds fatherhood, mentoring, and leadership. These are fabulous things. Well, I mean, these are fabulous things. Let me tell you something. When guys on social media, on my Facebook page, or even on Twitter, sit up and argue with me about inconsequential things day in and day out, forever and a day, I mean, is that manly? Is that taking on duty and honor? You know, because men and women are different, right? We have different brains. But when you keep comparing men and women, you're comparing apples and oranges. No? You don't compare apples and oranges. That's like logic 101. You do not compare unlike objects, right? So I love these characteristics. This is like admirable. You look up to men like this, like my dad, right? Duty and honor. As I told you, my father fought in World War II, right? He took care of his family. He had an obligation to his family, responsibility. He fought in World War II. He was courage. He had courage, brave, going into World War II at what, 22? A young age. See, this generation, the fathers, they are not getting their manhood training. And Smerconish, with all his, accolades and the way that he can put his words together to sound so erudite and fancy, he's not a deep thinker. He's not a deep thinker. He's a knee-jerk reactionary. Because we know that liberal ideology has failed Black America. Because what I want to say is this. What I want to ask is this. What do Black Americans have to show for 5 decades of voting Democrat? What do we have to show for it, folks? I am ashamed to drive through Los Angeles. I grew up here, you know that. I graduated from Dorsey High School. I went to UCLA. I always say the quintessential California girl. I went to Berkeley and UCLA and Dorsey High School. I went to elementary. I'm the quintessential California girl. Hey, I am ashamed to drive through Los Angeles. The roads are bumpy. There's, all Wilshire Boulevard, the main drag, bumpy road. Our infrastructure is like terrible. Traffic, nonstop, 24/7. California used to be the quintessential, the golden state. Great schools, excellent education. You loved California, right? Opportunities galore abound in California. Now we're at the bottom. We're at the bottom educationally. Our roads are, people who drive cars should sue the state of California for messing up their cars. Every road is bumpy, lumpy, and just terrible. The main drag is Wilshire Boulevard. We all know every street is traffic, 24/7. You can't get away from it. It's too much. The quality of life, the quality of living in Los Angeles has gone down the hill. The issue is this when it comes to school shootings. I'm gonna sum it up really quickly. Fathers are no longer in the home. Daddies aren't in the home. Children need their daddies, boys and girls. Boys need man training to know when violence is appropriate and when it's not appropriate. And the liberals took the fathers out of the home. And here's my data point. You know, my data point is that during Jim Crow, blacks had what? 87% two-parent families, correct? After Jim Crow and being on the Democratic plantation, geez, for 5 decades, we now have 25% two-parent families. The daddies aren't in the home. Boys aren't getting man training. That's why there's school shootings. And Michael Smerconish and all those liberals who are talking about gun control, they totally missed the boat. They're totally off the issue. They're wrong. This is what I want to ask black folks. It's like, why are you still Democrat when you know you ain't got no family, honey? You haven't put 2 and 2 together that the Democrats have destroyed your family? Why are you still let me ask black women, why are you still voting Democrat when you don't have a daddy for your kids? You can't put that 2 and 2 together? I mean, the family is the most important institution in society. And you can't tell me these women are happy with no daddies for their kids, raising these kids by themselves, raising these boys by themselves. I know they're not happy. They're miserable. Anyway, that's manhood. That's why there's school shootings. Judge Joe Brown let us know why there are school shootings, because boys aren't getting boy training, period. So the next issue I want to talk about is what? I want to talk about the fact that Dianne Feinstein didn't get the endorsement of the California Democratic Party. Huh. Oh, we were supposed to play. I forgot. Why did I go straight? But I'm not. We'll do it later. I was going to play my Terry Anderson clip, and I completely forgot. I just started talking. Yeah, I think we'll do it when I start talking. I'm going to start talking about DACA for a little bit. Because that deadline is coming up, the DACA deadline. I think it's March 5th. Hey, let me tell you, DACA would have been consuming the news if the school shooting didn't take place, right? But I'm going to talk about DACA. But before I talk about DACA, we're going to play Terry Anderson. Not now. But first, now I want to talk about Dianne Feinstein losing the backing of the California Democratic Party. She didn't get the endorsement from California Democrats. Why? Because she's not liberal enough. So let's see, Kevin DeLeon. Now, we all remember who this Kevin DeLeon guy is. He's the guy that conceded that half his family does not have, half his family has fake IDs and social security numbers. This is like crazy. How can you respect? Listen, if you don't have rule of law, you have anarchy, right? You have to have rule of law. If you want anarchy for America, if you think anarchy, let me ask my listeners, do you think anarchy will work well, we basically kind of have a little bit of it because we got all these illegal immigrants crowding our city. I mean, I think they're like 1.5 million approximately illegal immigrants in Los Angeles, right? So Kevin DeLeon, this is what he's about. He conceded that half his family has fake IDs and fake social security numbers. Let me tell you something, folks, why that is so disgusting. You guys know that's disgusting. Black men can't cross the street without getting a jaywalking ticket. And so we have this contingency of people that number in the millions that violate the law, and that's kosher. It's like double standard. Double standard. They're phonies. The liberals are fake, phony people. And we've got to do something to get these. Oh, and another thing I want to say. On Jefferson and 11th Avenue, there is a billboard by Maria Elena Durazo, who's running for the California State Senate. Jefferson and 11th Avenue. And on this billboard, the billboard says, disobey Trump. Are you laughing, Sullivan? Oh, okay. I thought I said something funny. That's not funny. That's sad. Disobey Trump. Because we know, listen, I love data, I tell you this. This is the data point. For every 10% increase in immigration, Black America loses 1/3 of 1% of her wealth. There's been a 700% increase in immigration since the 1970s. In fact, this is why I get pissed off, because as soon as they passed the Civil Rights Act in 1965, they also passed the Immigration Act of 1965. So, it's a phony deal because Black folks didn't even have an opportunity to get their head above water. That's why the Democrats are fake and phony and frauds. And, it's like, what do they call it? What is that expression that they use? Fake outrage or something. It's phony. Because as soon as they passed the Civil Rights Act, here comes the Immigration Act the same year. Black folks didn't even have an opportunity to get their head above water. And now, and I'm ashamed and let me tell you something, Los Angelinos. Black Americans have been in this country for 400 years. We fought in every war. We're more American than anyone. And go down to Skid Row in Los Angeles. We should be ashamed. We should be ashamed. When something happens to Black Americans, we should all hang our head in shame because we've done everything to be American. We've done everything, and no one cares. And now, now these illegal immigrants and now these immigrants, so in other words, we shouldn't have high immigration. We have 1 million a year. I have the guy on for Numbers USA. 1 million a year is too high. It should be lower. But the other thing is we definitely shouldn't have illegal immigrants. These are illegal people. And they're not here legally in the country. And they're trying to make us feel like we are racist because we don't want people in the country illegally. Are you crazy? You are crazy if you're trying to sell that. And now we've got Kevin DeLeon, who wrote the legislation on sanctuary state. This, our state, our politicians are crazy. Because now we have Kevin DeLeon, who wrote the law on sanctuary state, talking about this should be kosher for illegal people to be in the country and in the state of California. Why should that be cool when, if you know the history of immigration policy in the United States, if you know the data on illegal immigration, you know that illegal immigration is not cool at all. So I don't understand these people. I don't understand these shallow, superficial celebrities, Democrats, liberals. They're not deep thinkers. They're shallow. They're superficial. And it's a big turnoff, right? It's a big turnoff. And this is what, I want straight Black men to stand up to these people and tell them, I want your voices to be heard. And now we know that the mainstream media simply carries the water for the Democrats. They simply carry the water for the Democrats because they just go along. I'll tell you something. Michael Smerconish sounded so reasonable on Washington Journal. The man actually sounded like he was reasonable. He sounded intelligent. But he lacked substance. He was knee-jerk. He was reactionary. He was shallow, but he talks well. But there's no depth of knowledge. He speaks well. He speaks intelligently, but there's no depth of understanding. He's superficial. He's shallow. And that's the way all Democrats are, superficial and shallow. And I want all Americans to stand up to these people. Stand up against them. Okay, play the Terry Anderson clip now, Sullivan, please. Thank you.
Strategy, tenacity. We have to be patriotic. This is the time, folks. This is the time when America needs you. World War II was the time. Other wars have been the time. The Great Depression was the time. This is your time. This is your chance to be able to step up for America. That's not rhetoric, folks. That's the truth. And these people say they're going to take back the country. I tell them, come try it. You know what I mean? Come get it. If you think you can take it, come and get it. This is the time for us to show them they can't have it. And this is the time to vote for better people. This is the time to demand more from people. This is the time for you as an American to step up. I know you get tired of hearing that, but it's true. I am honored. I am honored that I can be here with you people tonight, and I'm honored that I can fight for my country. I was never a very patriotic person until I got involved in this. I love this country. And I swell up every time I see those stars and stripes. I don't care where they are now. And I swell up every time I think about those young people over there fighting to keep us safe. And I swell up every time I hear that national anthem. And I get very emotional when I think that maybe I'm not doing all that I should be doing to fight for this country. I'm going to keep on, folks, and I want you to help me. Thank you.
That was Terry Anderson, the great late Terry Anderson, who used to have a show here, right here. I feel the same way. You know, I wasn't always patriotic, but I am now. Because you know why? My father fought in World War II. My ancestors were here for hundreds of years. Their blood, sweat, and tears and labor is in this country. So I'm patriotic now. I wasn't patriotic before because, you know, I was young and I went to Berkeley and all that liberal crap. But it doesn't work. It didn't work. It's wrong. It's wrong. So I don't want my country, America, to be taken over by illegal immigrants. No way. Look at the city now. Look at Los Angeles now. Crowded, crowded, crowded. It's a whole nother ball game in Los Angeles. It's the quality of life is bad. It's not good. It's like I say, it's Tijuana Revisited. You go down to downtown Los Angeles, it's like Tijuana Revisited. Why should Los Angeles become Tijuana? I don't think that's a good thing. It's not a good thing. So this is why I love America now. Right. I mean, and I say that now because, you know, I was a liberal. And this is what they teach you in school, that there's problems with America. Things weren't for, you know, I have a different perspective now. I've matured and I've gotten the data. And I know that 5 decades of Black Americans voting for Democrats has destroyed Black America. These kids don't even have fathers in the home. This is definitely bad. Democrats have destroyed Black America. They have destroyed, and in fact, this is something that Judge Joe Brown said. He said that, in fact, 80% of all kids under 20 are fatherless. 80%. So they're destroying America. What kind of country will you have where kids don't have a father in the home? They're destroying America. Children need their fathers. This is a horrible thing. And the idea that the Democrats are going more left now, I think Dianne Feinstein will probably win, but Kevin De Leon is inching up. See, this is their game plan. I think it's like La Raza. They want to take back parts of California because they believe that we stole it from Mexico. And I think it was La Raza or Athlon, I'm not pronouncing it correctly. It's like they want to Colorado and New Mexico and Texas. They believe this belongs to Mexico. How is that like not weird thinking? Oh, that's weird thinking. Who thinks like that? That's weird. And another thing, they say this was indigenous. This is indigenous Indians were here. That's not even true either. Because there was a recent study, and it was a documentary on BBC where there's DNA evidence that the first people to the Americas were not Mongoloids, because there are only 3 races. Some people dispute that or argue it, but for a long time, the notion was that there were 3 races: Negroid, Caucasoid, and Mongoloid. And this DNA evidence shows that the first persons to the Americas were not Mongoloids, because Latinos are Mongoloids. And some are mixed with other things, because you do have Afro-Latinos, but they're mixed, but they're not indigenous. They came across the Bering Strait 6,000 years ago. The first people that came to the Americans, they say, well, this is DNA evidence. In fact, you can Google it. I want you to Google the first Americans. Google it. It's on YouTube. The First Americans. It's a BBC documentary, and the DNA evidence says that the first Americans were Negroid and Australia. They were mixed with Negroid and Australia, like Aborigines. So what is this whole, so everything is just confused. These people are superficial. They don't do research. They don't do adequate research. They have a superficial knowledge. And this is what all Americans and all Californians and all Los Angelinos should feel. You should feel you do not want to be dictated by or have policies by the least common denominator, by people that don't do their research, that people that don't dig, by a group of folks that don't dig. You don't want the least common denominator setting policy, right? You want the best. And this is another issue that I want to bring up. Black America, Pastor, what is his name? Daryl Scott is working with the Trump campaign to come up with an urban revitalization program for America. I don't like it. And then, and this is the problem I have with these preachers who lead Black America. They don't work. They're not we need our best thinkers, not people who know the Bible. We need our best economists and our best political historians leading Black folks like Dr. Claude Anderson. I'd like to see Dr. Claude Anderson, and I'd like to see Judge Joe Brown work with the Trump campaign and work with Black America. I don't want to see another preacher. They may know the Bible. They may know the Bible, but they don't know economics. They don't know political history, right? This is what Black America needs. And this is why, remember I said, Martin Luther King, look at the proof. Hey, the proof is always in the pudding. Anyway, I hear the music when we come back from the break. We're going to open up the phone lines because I'd love to hear from you. You can talk about anything you want. I love a dynamic show. So the call-in number is 866-870-5752, 866-870-5752. There's the music. We'll be right back. There's the Naked Truth Report. I'm your host, Kathleen Wells.
Are you a local business owner? Are you interested in increasing customer counts and store traffic or increasing traffic to your website? If you answered yes, then you need to advertise on the Naked Truth Report. For more information on how to become a sponsor, please reach out to RJ Beaton at 818-517-KRLA. That's 818-517-5752. Or email us at rj@krla870.com. That's rj@krla870.com. Kathleen Wells, the host of the Naked Truth Report, wants to hear from you. Just like our borders, the phone lines, they're wide open. Call in at 866-870-KRLA. That's 866-870-5752. 866-870-KRLA.
I like that. That gets me in a good mood when I hear that, right? Does that put you in a good mood, Sullivan? I just like that beat. Let it play until she starts singing, I think. Yeah, it's a long intro, but I like when they start singing that, That's going to get us in a good mood. That's going to put us in the mood to, take on the establishment, right? Yeah. coming. It may not be any lyrics, right? There it is. Woo! Get up! I like that. Thanks. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the Naked Truth Report. This is Kathleen. We're your host. And you were just like, get up. I love that song because it's like you have the energy to take on the establishment. And that was what Terry, we've got to get involved, folks. We've got to get involved. We've got to learn what's going on. Otherwise, Los Angeles is going down the tubes, okay? When you got a guy who's running for Senate for this, trying to take Dianne Feinstein. Hey, Dianne Feinstein's no good either. They're all the Democrats, to me, are no good. Because they're for these open borders and for these illegal immigrants. It is destroying California. When you got a guy, Kevin De Leon, who's wrote the state sanctuary legislation, who concedes that half his family has fake IDs and fake social. Hello? How can you have these kind of people? This is like the lowest common denominator. The lowest common, these kind of people, anything will, it's too permissive. You don't know what will go. If they have folks that can get away with the law and they can still make it, anything will go. You don't know what they'll propose. You can't have these kind of people working in your government. You cannot have people who are, play loose and fancy. What's the word I'm looking for? Play loose. How do I say that expression? They play fast and loose. That's the expression. They play fast and loose with laws. That's just not cool, folks. And then this other woman, Maria Elena Durazo, on Jefferson and 11, she has disobeyed Trump. Trump is going to get us out of this mess. This just shows you, if you go with these folks, the least common denominator, these non-deep thinking people, these superficial phonies, look where you end up. In the garbage heap. Look at the roads. Look at the quality of life. Look at Skid Row. This is how you end up when you go with the least common denominator, with superficial thinkers. Hey, this is the data point. Homelessness has increased by 75% in 6 years. The Los Angeles Times has been writing a lot of articles about homelessness, but they never connect the dots or make the connection, put 2 and 2 together between homelessness and illegal immigration. I had the building inspector tell us that 80% of the jobs during this construction boom in Los Angeles are held by illegals. You don't think Americans can work those jobs? You don't think some of those homeless folks down there on Skid Row and in Orange County could work some construction? They don't, but the Los Angeles Times never connects those dots. It is definitely, this agenda is killing Americans. This liberal agenda is killing America. And I'll tell you, these Latinos are not even indigenous to America. But even if there were, so what? What does that have to do with anything? They think that gives, they think if they were indigenous to America, that gives them authority to run roughshod over us Americans who have built America. America's not the land. We've been here hundreds of years, some of us. And so these people, because they were indigenous to California, which they are not, because they came across the Bering Straits 6,000 years ago, but even if there were, so what? It wasn't, America is not the land. Anyway, I'm going to take a call now from Randy. Hi, Randy. You want to talk about, oh, is that Pat? I can't see. Oh, it's, I said, you know what that says? It says ready. And I thought it said Randy. I mean, I cannot see. Okay, that comes with, hi, Pat. You want to talk about Dianne Feinstein?
Yes, I'm glad you brought up the subject on her. This is one of those things where we need to get involved and get the word out to everyone that they need to vote for Dianne Feinstein, even if you don't want to, you can't stomach it or anything. De Leon is one of the most radicals I've seen around. If he should get in that position back in Washington, along with that Harris, I mean, you can't even believe the screaming and yelling that would be going on trying to push all this sanctuary stuff onto us. I mean, it would be horrible. So anyway, this week's get involved thing should be everyone. Be aware of that and call all your friends and tell them, all your Republican friends, everybody else, that they need to do that.
I mean, it's unbelievable that he would even, it's like, Dianne Feinstein didn't get the endorsement, and he didn't make, I think he didn't make, 60% or whatever was necessary, but just the fact that he's even in the running.
Yeah, I know, and when he got into office, he threw himself a coronation. You know that down here at Disney Hall or whatever at that time, when he became the president of the Senate. And I don't know, there was hundreds and hundreds of people put in hundreds and thousands of dollars and coronated the guy for that. So this is where the guy's coming from, but he is a radical. I mean, a radical. And anybody that stands out there with the sanctuary, state. I mean, our country is going. But anyway, you're doing a good job, girl.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
And every week you need to get a subject to everybody get involved and call and get on this.
Yeah.
Really?
I need people to get involved. That's why I played the Terry Anderson clip. And I also want people to go to my YouTube channel and join, because subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I have spoken with the community representative of ICE. And I hope to have ICE on the program. And I would like for him to see my numbers up so that he knows that people are engaged and embracing the things that we're talking about, that we're concerned. His name is, I think, Marco Martinez. He's the community representative for ICE. So I'd like to, and I also like to have Holman on. We need to get involved. We're losing our city, and we're losing our state.
You sure that's ING or ED on the end?
We've lost, right? We've lost. Well, we got to get it back, and we're so grateful to have Trump. And in fact, Trump said something to the effect, something like, he's just, he was saying something to the effect that, he should just pull ICE out of California. He was talking off the cuff. I know he won't do it, but it's just like I think he was expressing that he's meeting so much resistance.
Yeah, and De Leon said that Trump was a blowhard.
Oh my. Yeah, and then, like I said, this Maria Elena Durazo, who's running for the California State Senate, says disobey. It's on Jefferson Boulevard and 11th Avenue. Says disobey Trump. Can you?
Really?
Yeah.
You mentioned something about I didn't get to see. De Leon didn't get the endorsement, did he, of the Democrat Party?
No, he didn't get the endorsement. In fact, I have an article here from The Guardian. Dianne Feinstein loses party backing as progressive Democrats mount pressure. Activists at the state party convention this weekend were more eager to back her primary challenger, Kevin De Leon, the California Senate leader, who is presenting himself as a fresh face with strong progressive credentials. However, he too failed to earn the 60% needed to win the endorsement.
You see, that's why we need to get the word out to vote for Dianne, whether we like it or not. Or we're going to be had with that man, believe me.
I believe you. I thank you for calling in, and thanks for listening, Pat. I appreciate it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now I'm going to take a call from Stacy in New York. Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Miss Wells. I just want to say that I agree with you. Democrats have destroyed Black America, and I am a subscriber to your YouTube channel. I think your work is incredible, and you are very, very brave. I will say part of what the Democrats have done is the crack epidemic versus the opioid, heroin, how Bill Clinton caused the mass incarceration we see today for particularly Black Americans. Also, I love Dr. Claude Anderson. I've read all of his books. Powernomics, Black Labor, White Wealth, Dirty Little Secrets, more Dirty Little Secrets. So you've got me right there. What I want to tell you, and you may not, I don't know if you know about it, but there was a letter written to President Trump from the Congressional Black Caucus, and it's dated February 12, 2018. And I'd like to read a couple of sentences, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. On behalf of the Congressional Black Caucus, I write today to express our complete disgust with your unreasonable immigration proposal, particularly your insistence upon the elimination of the diversity immigrant visa program. Your framework explicitly pits dreamers, young Americans who know no other country, against the legal immigration system. Then it goes on, and it says, as you may or may not know, the DV program creates a pathway to the American dream for about 50,000 people each year hailing from countries that send relatively few immigrants to the United States. I'm not going to read anymore. I'm hoping that you'll be able to go online and print down the letter. But you see all of the members of the Congressional Black Caucus, they really need to change their names, because when you read this letter, you're going to see how awful it is towards Black people. Oh, there is one little horrible sentence, I must say. In the bottom of the third paragraph, additionally, diversity visa recipients have a far lower rate of incarceration compared to native-born Americans. And then it goes on. It is so awful. I can, as a Black person, as a person, like you said, your dad served in World War II, so did my father. As the great-great-great-great-great-granddaughter of a revolutionary American who was a Black man who went into the New York 5th Regiment of the Continental Army at the age of 15, I am so sick of these people.
We hate them. Okay? No, we hate them. I hate them. I hate the Congressional Black Caucus. I hate Democrats. No doubt about it.
Can I give you the phone number for the Congressional Black Caucus in Washington, D.C. for some of your listeners?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, so people can call and tell them how much we hate them.
Yes. The number is 202-226
Yeah.
9776.
Repeat that.
202-226-9776.
Okay. Yeah, listen, I'm not a hater, I'm a lover. I really am. But I have disdain and hate for these people. I passionately, because I hate phonies. I hate lies. And these people are if you go on my YouTube channel, you can see that I went to the Congressional Black Caucus back, the Legislative Council. Check out my YouTube channel, The Naked Truth Report. I confronted Al Sharpton, Sheila Jackson Lee, Karen Bass, who is my representative, and who is the other one? Steny Hoyer. Mm-hmm. Go on my YouTube channel and check out that interview. It's the one where I say it's titled like Al Sharpton denies the numbers on illegal immigration. I'm not a hater, I'm a lover. Anyone around here will tell you that I have a smile on my face. I love life, okay? But I am a passionate person. I am a passionate person, and I hate lies. And the Congressional Black Caucus, they're just liars. They're just liars. They're no good. And my attitude is like off with their heads. I wish they could go to the public square and be tarred and feathered. Okay, I mean that's. They're deceitful. They're dishonest. They're insincere. I can look you straight in the eye and ask you a question and talk and tell the truth. They are dishonest. They can't look you straight in the eye. I hope they get cancer. Okay.
Can I say one more thing about one of the members?
Right.
But Terry Sewell, Terri, and her last name it's either pronounced Sewell or Sewell, Sewell. Mm-hmm. She's from Lowndes. She represents Lowndes County, Alabama.
Uh-huh.
If you know anything about Lowndes County, the people there have hookworms because they do not have proper sewage. The UN went to that county and said it is the worst poverty they have seen in the first world. This is the Black Belt of Alabama, and this woman has the nerve to be talking about immigration as opposed to putting sewer systems in this community. The Black Belt is where cotton comes from, and cotton built this country. Africans, slaves, built the wealth of this country. So I don't care what these Latinos are saying. They treat Black people in their countries very badly, and they're doing the same crap here.
Right. That's Afro-Latinos are, in fact, they just recognized Afro-Mexicans last year. No, 2016. They just recognized Afro-Mexicans. I knew an Afro-Venezuelan. They're treated like second-class citizens, if not worse. As far as I'm concerned, I don't even want to say something that bad because I could say something that bad. These people got to go. Bottom line. Thank you. And the Congressional Black Caucus needs to go. I hope they're tarred and feathered in the public square. Okay? Thank you, Stacey, for calling in. Now I'm going to take a call from Chanel. Hi, Chanel. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report. Hi, Chanel. Line 3. Oh, she left. Okay. Anyway, Chanel left, but we've got, 9 more minutes? So I want to say, let me see, what should I talk about? I talked about Marina Elena Durazo, who's running for the state center. These people, listen, let me tell you something about these folks. They are the least common denominator, most of them, because they want Los Angeles to run like Tijuana. And you see how Tijuana is run, right? I've been to Tijuana. Have you been to Tijuana? You don't want to live in Tijuana. Do you see how Mexico is run? These people, I'm sorry. These people, they're not good enough. That's the bottom line. They're not good enough. Because if first of all, you're not even here legally. Black men cannot get away. American men generally, all men in America who are legal citizens cannot get away with violating the law. They have to abide by the laws. You cannot have anarchy in America. And yet we have these people here violating the law. Do you see how the traffic, it's just too crowded all the time in Los Angeles. It's too many people here. And then, there's, I want to get this young man who talks about you see all the food on the streets? Like they're serving food, the food trucks and the food taco stands and all that stuff. They're cooking on the streets all over. Now, I would think, I don't know if they have permits or not, but I would think that would violate, health and safety codes. There's an outbreak wasn't there an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease or something like that in Orange County? So you have rules, you have the rule of law for a reason. You cannot have anarchy the rule of law is very important. So anyway, I want to encourage people to support the Naked Truth Report. Go to the YouTube channel. Please subscribe. I also want to encourage you to go to the Facebook page, the Naked Truth Report. We've got to get something done here. I'm trying to get the guy. He's the community representative, community engagement representative. I think his name is Marco Martinez with ICE. I'm trying to get him to come on the show. Now, I see I have a call from Ernest. Hi, Ernest. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report.
Yes. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that this is becoming more and more like Tijuana. I could say a lot about that because I used to live in Mexico. I had to go, in fact, I went down there to study medicine because I couldn't get in American medical school. But the question I have for you is, do you know that there's a candidate running for governor that is anti-immigration? I think his last name is Cox. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with him?
It sounds familiar. I know Travis Allen is also running on the Republican ticket, right?
I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But in fact, now I've been involved with political campaigns for about the last 10 years, actually producing media for them, because the mainstream media completely ignores the candidates that are anti-immigration.
Mm-hmm.
There were candidates, like there was one for the what is it, the LA attorney.
Mm-hmm.
This was several years ago, long before Trump came along, who was anti-immigration, and the media completely ignored him.
Mm-hmm.
There was others also. There have been others also, but the mainstream media just completely ignores candidates that are anti-immigration.
Yeah, well, yeah, we know that the mainstream media, CNN and MSNBC, and even, you know, C-SPAN is not good enough for me anymore. You got to have high standards, you know. Let's have C-SPAN is not, because they give too much play to these Michael Smerconish types. He's not smart enough. You got to get your standards up. I love Fox. Yeah. I love Fox because I love Hannity and I love Tucker Carlson because they give me information. Listen, but for Tucker Carlson, but for Trump, but for Tucker Carlson, but for Hannity, we wouldn't even know about this whole FISA court business and this uranium one. So we love them, right?
Yeah, yeah. And they wonder why the voter turnout is so low.
Oh yeah, it was low the last time. Yeah,
because we have such a pathetic selection of candidates. Just like this governor's race. I mean, it's pathetic. And you got Villaraigosa running. He's a convicted felon, and he used to be MS-13. That's the gang that's running around killing the children of Black Americans.
How do you know Villaraigosa was MS-13?
Well, that's, if I remember correctly. Yeah, go look it up. He was in one of those gangs. I think it's MS-13.
I can't imagine Villaraigosa be. I don't know. I don't know. That sounds like gossip. But anyway, Ernest, thank you for calling in. I'll Google it, but I don't think he was. Listen, I want to encourage my listeners to vote Republican. Get out there, get active, vote Republican. Get out there and vote Republican. This is the Naked Truth Report. I'm your host, Kathleen Wells, and this is my love song to people with deep roots in California, deep roots in America, deep roots in Los Angeles. Don't forget to go to the Naked Truth Report YouTube channel and subscribe. We're going to be back next week I'm going to try to get that guy on from ICE, okay? Thank you for listening. Bye.
Well, country love